is going on, everybody? This is Brian once again with another Is It Good review. And I know it's been a long time, but I thought, what a better way for me to come back than to review one of the most highly anticipated games of 2017, Mass Effect Andromeda, which was released on March 21st here in North America, 23rd in Europe, and is available on the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Microsoft Windows PC. So this series, I am a big fan. I've always been a huge fan of the Mass Effect series. The original trilogy, and you play as Commander Shepard, who becomes a Spectre, and then lots of chaos ensues involving a group called the Reapers. Well, this series kind of goes really far forward, like maybe 600 years further into the future, where you play as a character with the last name of Ryder, who ends up becoming what's called the Pathfinder through a series of events. And some stuff goes down with your father, Alec, and you have a sister and things like that. And, well, basically, the story of this game is you play as Pathfinder Ryder, and it is your job to find Earth a new home, a new viable and habitable planet. And that is what you're doing in this series. And yes, of course, just like in the first three games, there's also a main antagonist, and I really won't go into detail on that too much. I don't want to give too many, or I'm not going to give any spoilers away or anything. I actually haven't even completed the game myself, because there's a lot to do in this game. Now, I will say this, the game is really fun to play, but I'm going to get into the gameplay specs later and talk more about the pros and cons and things like that. Because as you guys know, I really like to go into the menus and show you guys how things work. We're going to talk about how you level and the leveling system in the game. I'm also going to talk about the character profile, which the different profiles you can unlock, which make playing this game a lot more interesting. I'm also going to talk about character customization. I'm not going to show you that. I'm going to talk about the customization or lack thereof. And I'm also going to show you some other things as well in the menus here in the game. You're going to kind of see a little bit of that playing right now in the background, some of the menus, but here in a minute, I'm going to go into more detail as to what this all means. You're kind of just seeing a little bit of gameplay right now, but I'm going to stop and show you a little bit more of that in detail. So, yeah, this is the start. I'm not sure if this is the start of a new trilogy or a new saga, but this is a separate entity in the Mass Effect series. However, it does take place in the same universe. Well, technically, same universe, new galaxy. So you're not playing in the Milky Way galaxy. You are going to be playing in the Andromeda galaxy, which is what this is all about. So, without further ado, I'm going to jump right into here in just a second, talking about the menus. You guys can see I'm kind of just going through these on the fly here, but we're going to go into them a lot more detail, and that way I can tell you what the things I do like about the menus and things I don't like, and the things I like and all about the game, and letting you know if this game is good or not. So, like I said, I'm going to talk about the menus, and here we are on the character skills screen. This is for Ryder, and you can see he's got combat, biotics, and tech. And then at the bottom, you have your squad skills, and you've got 6 squad members here. So this is early in the game. I haven't unlocked the 6th character yet. But this allows you to go in and level your characters up. The one thing I don't like about this is that you don't have customizable squads, meaning that characters, meaning that you cannot get armor for your character, your squad mates. You can't decide their armor. You can't equip their weapons, which was a really big thing in the first 3 games, is that you were allowed to give your squad mates weapons and get them new armor and make their armor better and make them have better weapons. Unfortunately, in Mass Effect Andromeda, that is not the case here. You do not have the ability anymore to equip your squad mates with their armor and weapons. So that does kind of take a lot away from the first 3 games. However, you still can level them up and choose their path and things like that, which you can kind of see here. This is the leveling system, and each character has their own special, unique thing to them that you can unlock depending on how many points or skill points you use. So there's that. So, and then I'm going to jump up here to Ryder, and here in a sec, and we're going to talk about Ryder's skills and how this all works with Ryder, your main character. So of course he or she has a slew of skills to choose from, and basically how this works this time around is that on each individual skill tree, it does take 1 point to unlock that skill, and you'll see that highlighted where it says incinerate. I've got 1 skill point in there, but every other level is however many skill points you need. So for instance, if you want to get rank 2 in, say, or rank 3, say, in assault rifles, you would need 3 skill points, which I just used there. If you want rank 4, you need 4 skill points. Rank 5, 5 skill points, and etc. So it does make understanding the leveling system pretty easy. Now, you do have different things to choose from. You have combat, you have tech, and things like that. Now, the cool part is that you do, depending on how many skill points you put in combat, biotics, and tech, that allows you to unlock what's called profiles, which we're going to get to here in just a second. But this is the inventory screen, and this does show you your different inventory, your pistols, weapons, everything that you have in your inventory, what you can see, and all that good stuff in between, as well as resources, your resource materials like your minerals and things like that, and everything that you have already researched in the research and development, which I'll talk about that in more detail towards the end of this video. You can compare with what you currently have equipped as far as what is more powerful, so you can see the damage and see if this weapon has better damage than the weapon in your current inventory already, but you can't compare with other weapons in your inventory. The other thing too is there's your codex, there's your journal, map, 3 things you should be familiar with if you have played Mass Effect before. But this is something new called profiles. So how profiles work is, if you remember back in the first Mass Effect game, the original trilogy, you could only choose, like, say, Sentinel, or that was it, right? And that's what you were throughout the rest of the game. Well, in Mass Effect Andromeda, you can unlock all the profiles, and you can change them. You can change them and equip them throughout the game, so you're not just stuck with, say, Soldier, the first one you get in the game. Now, how you unlock these profiles depends on how many skill points you put in combat, biotics, and tech. So, say you 6 in combat, 5 in tech, so you would unlock a profile that way. The cool part about the profiles is that they are customizable. You can actually go into during combat, and you are able to bring up a screen which allows you to switch them on the fly. So that's actually really cool that you can switch profiles on the fly. Now, I will say this. Let's talk about the pros and cons in the game. I'll tell you what I like, and I'll tell you what I don't like. So what I do like about this game is the combat. This is a lot less of a cover-based shooter than previous Mass Effect games have been. I say that by starting off in cover, but it really has been a lot less, more or less that. And also there's something new here. You can actually use the Omni tool this time around too, by pushing down on your D-pad, which actually allows you to scan for things, and that's actually how you get materials, or I'm sorry, not materials, but AVP points, which are called Andromeda viability points. And basically what the AVP allows you to do is use research and development, and that allows you to basically see, you can actually research new weapons, new armor, and things like that, which is pretty freaking cool if you ask me, as long as you know what to equip and what not to equip, of course, depending on the kind of character you want to play as. However, the combat in this game is a lot of fun. It kind of has that Dragon Age Inquisition type feel to it. Not so much a cover-based shooter anymore. A lot more out in the open, a lot more running around. As you can see here, I'm fighting this gigantic architect here. And yeah, you'd still use cover to get your shields back and things like that. The things I don't like about this game is I do not like the character customization. There really is no character customization in this game, which kind of sucks because BioWare, that's what they're known for, is a really good character customization options. You know, from Knights of the Republic and Dragon Age Inquisition had some really good character customization. However, in Mass Effect Andromeda, there really just isn't as much customization options as I'd like. And I'm really hoping to be able to customize the character more and there was such a lack of it that I just went ahead and kept it as the standard rider look. Another thing I don't like in this game is, to be honest, how the character models themselves look, period. So, I mean, this is next gen. This is 2017. You would think that by now they would have made their characters look a lot more realistic, make them look a lot better. They could have improved them a lot more, you know, artistically. I think the worlds look amazing. The planets are very well detailed. You can see here, this is Volode, this is an ice planet. It's a very nicely and well detailed planet. Enemies look great. You know, this is the remnant I'm fighting against right now. But you're just characters, humans especially, just don't look good in this game. So that's kind of unfortunate. I would actually like to have a Mass Effect game where you can play as a completely different race, like where you're not stuck playing as humans. I think that would actually be pretty cool. To have a Mass Effect game where you play as you kind of see things from a different viewpoint and are able to play as a completely different species or race. But once again, you start playing humans here, so you can't play as a Turian or what have you. You are going to discover a couple new races in this game as well, which are really cool. I won't give those away, but one of them ends up becoming an ally, which is kind of neat. And that character ends up kind of feeling like one of my favorite characters in Mass Effect, the Turian from the first 3 games, Garrus. And he kind of has that Garrus type feel to him, so I'm really glad they kind of brought a character like him back. Speaking of old things from the first Mass Effect series, it does have a little bit of, tie-in from the first game. You'll notice a couple characters in here. But it's that same premise of Spectre, Pathfinder, Rider, Shepard, and then you've got your main antagonist. However, I will say this. The game is it a good game? It's a phenomenal game. It's definitely one worth playing. You'll have a lot of fun with it. Researching minerals and things like that is definitely not the same. That's one thing I really miss from Mass Effect 2 is being able to fly your little ship around. In this one, you get a ship called the Tempest. In Mass Effect, that was the Normandy, but you don't get to fly it around freely like you could in Mass Effect 2. And that was something that I really enjoyed about that game, was being able to, probe planets and find the minerals and things. Whereas here, it's a very bland way of searching the galaxy, if you will. It's kind of sad considering you're the Pathfinder and that's your job, is to go throughout the galaxy and look for a new home, when it's a pretty linear experience. And not only that, but really not a lot of exploration. And then also the way you find minerals is you drive around this thing called the Nomad, which is basically the Mako now, and you have to be in the right spot on the planet to send down a drone. So it kind of makes looking for minerals a little bit more of a chore this time around than that enjoyment you had the first time when you scanned a planet and you kept finding the resources and stuff like that. So it kind of takes that fun joy away. I will say this, that they did make the Tempest have a very proper bridge this time, so you do feel like you're actually in command of a ship. The galaxy map is very nicely detailed. I do think it's a very beautiful looking galaxy map. However, they just took that away. Multiplayer wise, I really didn't want to say much about multiplayer, because honestly, if you've played Mass Effect 3's multiplayer, you're going to be playing Mass Effect Andromeda's multiplayer, because it's honestly the exact same thing. I really didn't notice any differences other than it looks a little bit better. But other than that, it's still that fun, fast-paced, squad-based team play, kind of like Horde mode-esque type gameplay from before. I'm sure there's a lot of other things I'm missed out on in this review, but that would take away from you going to play the game and experiencing it for the first time yourself, instead of me telling you every single detail about this game. So, is it good? Absolutely. Go pick it up right now. Once again, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Microsoft Windows PC. Definitely go check this game out, especially if you're a fan of the series. And as always, thank you for taking the time to watch my video. There'll be more to come. Until next time, guys.